Okay, I just finished off stream getting the task list to work. So let's refresh that and then add some tasks. Let's see. Now this occurs to me now. I need a way to add task. Okay. I need a way to add tasks that are like prepended or appended. So this will be a dep, that'll be an add, I guess. How do you add child? Is it just called add child? Append child. Okay. Pretty sure this will work. Let's try it. Task add. So this will be the first thing I do. I need this to stay on screen while I type in this thing. I can change out of the macro, probably. If process is Chatterino, I think that's how I would do it. All right. Man. Whatever. Okay, let's see if Chatterino will not lose focus. Check model vertex winding and normals is mixed. There's a task. Okay. They're really not spaced correctly, but I'll fix it tomorrow. Oh, thunder. Make the frostbind ability. What's this one do? Lock your aim direction. Only, yeah. Oh, I didn't add that one. Okay, hang on. Before I start, I'll be right back real quick. back. I want a different playlist today. Okay, I went out to check on my puppy because it was thundering and he was shaking. Poor puppy. All right, time to start work on the ability thing. So first I think I can just check this in Blender for the artist guy. There we go. That, and I want to look at normals. Can I even do that here? No, it's in edit. Okay, but so scale X -1. Looks correct, actually. So this is not the problem, though. Yeah. I need to check this in my game. What would be the best way to do this? I guess I'll just take the goblin. Maybe the goblin's maybe the most complicated way to do it. Let's see. When you add his particle, you give it a transform. This is probably okay. So you can say transform is scale transform by we're flipping it across. It doesn't matter. Either X or Z has to be negative. And I can't replace that. Okay. Yeah. Why is it drawing two? Oh, one is the close. But either way, apparently flipping it negatively by one coordinate does not break it. Okay. Let me tell the artist guy this is fine. Alright, that's done. Let's try this. Task done. Check model. Yay. So frostbind ability has to do damage. I want to check what it looks like when I actually use this and spin my character around. Right now, the frostbind is locked onto my staff, I think. So yeah, this, okay. Looks like I would expect. So it keeps the same direction. Oh yeah, this is what the frostbite ended up as. So yesterday I had it looking pretty good. Last night I adjusted it so that there's kind of like a clipping gradient that goes out, and then toward in the last 40% of it there's another clipping gradient that goes in. So the whole thing kind of shoots out and then goes away from my character. It's very fast, and I also updated the colors. Looks a lot better. Looks like wind now. But it looks really bad when I move my staff like this. And also, the problem is, spinning it around like that with your staff would be the best way to use it in the game, because after it hits someone, it's done its thing, it can't do it again. So you just want to spin as fast as possible. So I'm gonna prevent you from doing that, because it looks really stupid. So first of all, I have to do damage. How would I do this? Okay, I have... yeah, how should I do this? I could actually just use that geometry shape. I don't think I want to. No, I shouldn't, because I have this file that's like ability shapes. Yeah. And I have a cone in here, actually. I thought. Okay. I guess not. So we will make a cone shape. So I just have to decide how many vertices I want this thing to have on the circle, which I'm just gonna arbitrarily pick like 16. So it has 17 vertices. Length. Radius. This. Yeah, so I am moving Z. Okay. So this I just have to go around a circle. And I said there is 16. So is this right? It would start out as 0 over 16 times pi times 2. Yeah. Sine 0 over 16 times pi times 2. And then I said the length, negative length. And I do this 16 times. Okay, so this was the goal. You end on 15/16. This looks right to me. I did all this not right. Comma. Okay. So this is a cone. Oh wait, I'm not using radius, but it's just one, but I probably just should. Times radius is how that would work. Times radius. Okay. So I have to give this guy, when I'm trying to get the hit goblins, a transformation matrix. Make translation matrix 4 at the frostbind position. And then I have to get the rotation from the direction. So how would you say this? Make rotation quaternion, and I think I have a function. This just takes a direction. Yeah, it takes a velocity. That's probably fine. It'll be important to test this quite a bit. So, and then transform is rotate of the transform by the rotation. That's it. Now let me think here. I need to figure out what's the function to give this thing a shape and check what you've hit. It would be in Track Goblins, which is in, that should probably just be called Track Goblins, but it's in Projectile. I guess this, yeah. You give it a shape, give it a matrix, give it a team. Okay. Hit goblins. Cone shape. Oh, so, okay, this is not quite right. After this. Yeah, after this you have to scale it. So I think actually I don't even know where I'm defining. Oh. Okay, so its radius is actually 1. I guess I'll specify that. And so that is this guy. And now this is the distance. So this is the same thing. Actually, and yeah, look at this. Exactly the same code if I do this. Frostbind position, frostbind direction, rotation, radius, a radius, distance. Okay. I think that is good. So now I can give it this transform, I give it a pointer to the cone shape, and I give it the enemy team. This doesn't have a team. So, oh shit, I should just give it a goblin. You have a direction, you give it a goblin pointer. Now it's goblin.id. Team is goblin team. Damage identifier is nothing. Okay. What VS Code theme is that? Looks nice. I have a command for that actually. There you go. Mayukai. Yeah, no problem. I should probably add links into that, but whatever. So for each hit goblin, if not, this has to be a pointer to the Frostbind ability. Damage, this is kind of not great code, but it's really simple, so it's not bad to just do this every time. Damage identifier equals claim damage identifier. Has a duration, right? Yeah. How's it work? Time duration. That's right. I'll just double the duration. Alright. All the door shutting sounds in this song trip me up. So now you have a valid damage identifier. So should it just claim it right when you fire the ability? I would probably. Time Frostbind duration times 2. Yeah, this is fine to say. Now you have a valid damage identifier. Hit goblin. So actually this is not a pointer anymore. If you can damage him with a damage identifier, and you add damage. Client, oh, the other thing is I am actually only doing this if it's a client. Which again has to change in the near future. It's just that for now. So if it's on the client, check for hits, collisions. If you can damage them from the damage identifier, add damage to the hit goblin. It is a client. Damage identifier time for now. Knockback is true, blood is false. It's false. Okay. Okay, well, I think it should do damage now. Let's try it out. Are the dot shader part of the language? You're passing dependencies in that and doing stranges. What are those? They're not part of the language. I will show you in a second. That has to be an actual function call. Where did you see that? I haven't opened it today. You see it yesterday? Projectile. Yeah, the shader dependency stuff is something I wrote. Other streams you're working on particles, I see. Yeah, it's stuff I wrote. Well, hang on, let's try this out real quick. Okay. It is not hurting him. Uh-oh. Okay, that hurt him. Huh. Okay, well anyways, the shader stuff is stuff I wrote, and all it does is just have a list of dependencies and a string section. What you do is, when you create your shader, you're allowed to pass in this stuff. You're allowed to pass in shader parts and actual strings. And then it resolves it at basically compile time. And so what's happening when you resolve it at compile time is it goes through all of the shader parts, flattens it out in order so the dependent things are at the top, and then it removes them also like in opposite order. It removes the duplicate dependencies. So at the end of it, and that all happens at compile time, so at the end of it, you have a fixed array of, where does this happen? Shader. At the end of it, you have a fixed array of resolved shader parts, which are just strings. That's it. And then the other benefit of this system is I have it set up so that you can require injections, and it'll require injections, so it tracks them at compile time. So an example of this being map constants, map parts. So this thing, the $current map, when you initialize the shader for the map, anything that has this as a dependency, you have to provide a current map to it. So it'll recompile this based on what map you're playing on. So that's all. And so most of the stuff that can happen at compile time does happen at compile time. Okay. I suspect XYZ is not right. But this guy, this is the same thing. From the game's coordinate system perspective, this thing has a length of 1, a radius of 1, and it's facing negative z, which is positive y. In my ability shape, I add the first point. It does not matter which one goes where. I could even swap these, I think. It just makes a circle at length -1. That's very cool. Imagine it's much harder to do in C++. Yeah, definitely. I think it would technically be possible. But yeah, doing that type of thing in C++, well, for one, I think it might literally be impossible in C. I'm not sure. But it would be insane. But doing that kind of thing in C++ would be incredibly hard. Well, this is odd. I wish I could draw this, but I don't really have a good way to do that. Actually, I kind of do. Oh, this is gonna be really stupid. Okay, we're gonna draw them. This is the render method, so I'm just gonna make this a whole different loop so I can just delete the whole thing. So, this is my transform for this specific frostbind. I'm gonna go through all the vertices for the vertex of cone shape. This is a coda shape. What the fuck is it called? This. This is a this. So dot vertices. I think this is okay to do. Fixed. Okay. Now let's go look at shapes 3. I think there's a draw spheres. I would rather use this for now. I'm only drawing 17, so it's kind of whatever. Because I just fixed this method. I imagine this method is still broken. So I'm gonna draw, so the position is transform the point of the vertex by this matrix we've calculated. So it's this. We're gonna say some tiny radius. Wait, that's it. Okay. It might actually show me the points now. Yep, there it is. That is very much right. And I see that one little point on my staff? Yeah. Very much right. It's so I don't it basically it should be damaging this guy actually. Maybe he's broken. Nope. He has to be on the vertices. That's what I'm learning. Wait, this guy's not on the vertices. Okay, this is a little bit concerning. Definitely, these vertices are right. So, it's as if this function... It's as if this function is not actually treating this like... Maybe it's the bounding box that's broken? I think it might be the bounding box that's broken. So I can kind of check it. I just want to say debug hit goblins is false. And then you know, this actually should just be thread. Just mark this thread once for it. Oh, it might be fixed. I don't know. That's not my job right now. So I'm just trying to check basically what goblins it finds and their associated teams. And I'm gonna ignore the results of the GJK right now. So if debug hit goblins, found goblin. And it's probably a pointer. This is gonna be a giant struck though. It's fine. Found goblin, okay. Let's try it out. I probably want to check on my dog again soon because it's not thundering anymore, but he was very scared. All right. What the fuck? This is the hit goblin. What is this giant thing? Oh, it's the animation mix. And that includes all the joints. Okay. I'm just gonna print the pointer. It did find the guy though. It's just that it doesn't think, I guess, the GJK thing is colliding with him. Yep. If I go back here or something, not colliding, not colliding. That one is colliding, but so is that. Okay, not colliding. So this is about what I'd expect, actually. Not colliding. His bounty box is fucking giant. Oh, it's because it's AABB. Mr. Kuju. Hey, Bevan. So it has to do with this. I refuse to believe this is actually broken. How about but he's not GJK. If I have to debug the fucking GJK algorithm, I'm gonna kill myself. Oh no. Oh boy. I have an idea. I'm just curious what's gonna happen here. If I make this, like, if I add 3 more, okay, so 20, and I just go 1, 2, 3, so that there's not a single point at 0, 0, 0, this might actually just fix it. Which would indicate it's a GJK issue, because I haven't seen GJK issues with any other shapes. Okay, it does not fix it, so that's a little good, I guess. But, like, definitely it's broken, because GJK treats this as a convex shape, so I'm just giving it a list of points. That's totally valid. I refuse to fix this. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm hoping I can just look at it real quick, and the solution is really simple. Let's check. Oh boy, I'm not actually debugging this. Definitely not on stream at the very least. But I'm gonna check if there's any obvious issues real quick. I would rather fix this right now and be done with it than have to fix it later. So we'll do like this. And then in this GJK method, if you debug GJK, then print out 1. So I just want to see where the fuck this is actually exiting. I do have this thing, which, like, technically, if I set this up correctly, somehow I could put this in some type of editor, turn on GJK debug. Yeah, that I probably could do that. Yeah, I could do that. It have to be a standalone program because you have to call it every frame so that I can render on the per frame thing. And I could actually step through what's happening with GJK. I just really don't want to. This one's out 6. Whatever, I don't need to indent it. Out 8. Invalid simplex image. So that one's not happening, but I'll do this anyways. And out 10. I suspect maybe this is where it's exiting. This is like past the iteration count exit. Out 8. Consistently out 8. Every time when he's inside it. Yeah, out 8. And what if I do this? Out 8 again. If the new support isn't on the opposite side of the origin, it's impossible that we enclose the origin. Okay, so this is really bad news. The bad news is GJK is actually broken. I don't know how this hasn't been an issue up until now. It's worked perfectly up until now. doesn't, as far as I know, have to do with vertex winding or anything, so... Okay. The only other thing I'm going to check is when I get the support point in GJK. Yeah, it has a transform. Okay, this is a problem. You're not allowed to do this. This is the problem. I want to check all the supports real quick. All the transforms. I think what's happening is that this is probably the first time I've used GJK with the transformation matrix that's like really fucked. Like it's scaled in a weird way. Okay, so this just gets to support a bunch of times with the transformation matrix. That's okay to do. So does this. Get support, get support. Get support, get support. Okay, that seems to be the only thing that uses this. Good. So when you solve GJK, the actually first thing you're going to do is get the normal transform 1. This is actually the code I just wrote yesterday in the Frostbite shader. This guy. To get the correct matrix here, I guess it has to be a mat 3. You have to transpose the inverse of the transformation matrix. Work. Damn. Jessica Mack, thanks for the raid. How's your stream? What are you working on? Hey everyone. Well, I'll show my game real quick. Today, well yeah, you can see what I'm working on. I just made this little to-do list thing today. Let's hope this compiles. Thanks for the huge raid. It's crazy. Flex real quick. Go for it. If you have anything to share, then feel free to share whatever you're working on. Yeah, that too. Wishlist Fat Goblins. So this is my game. I'm working on a game called Fat Goblins, inspired by Fat Princess, which you have not been able to play for years and years, and I missed this game. So I decided to work on this. It's kind of become a way larger scope of a project than I had planned. Art. There's no art command. I don't know exactly what that would be. But yeah, this is it. I've been working on this ability today. You can see the little debug points. This is one of the Frost Mage abilities. This guy is actually a Frost Mage despite his not yet existing clothing. Like the ground patterns, thanks. I mean, the ground patterns were something from Fat Princess does something really similar. I don't know how they do it, so I did it my own way. The ground patterns are just SDF. What are they even called? Metaball things? So if you're not familiar with SDF metaball things, Fat Princess, real throwback. Yeah, I love Fat Princess. It was a great game, right? There hasn't been a really similar game in quite a while. But so, let's see. Is this it? This might be it. Let's look at Graph Shader. So this game is also made totally from scratch, everything, including the graphics library and the physics and everything. I should remember much of it, huh? This is the early pixel junk era, right? I'm not sure. I don't know what that era is. But it came out like 12 years ago. Yeah, so the ground patterns are just, I guess it'd be like a metaball, a 2D metaball STF thing. So they blend with each other. Because no razor is doing a certain, and oh yeah, that would be around the time then, I think. I don't know exactly where that metaball code is. I guess it's just, oh, here you go. So you take the SDF to do that, to do the specific type of blending ground pattern, you take the SDF value of the thing, and you add them together, and you have this fancy equation that does some stuff with like the radius. And they essentially, when you add them together like this, you just use the cumulative value of all of the circles as the boundary, and they kind of blend together in this fancy little cartoony way. But yeah, this is the game. You kill each other, gather up the meat, feed it to the princess, make her fat. You try to rescue your princess from the enemy castle, and if you want to wishlist it, then feel free to wishlist it on Steam. What are you working on, Jessica Mac? I don't know if I've caught one of your streams before. What I'm debugging right now is this ability is supposed to be hurting him. Yo, 66, thanks. In order to appreciate this dry programming stream, I made myself French fest, cool and monkey tea. I'm equipped. Nice. Yeah, this is in fact written in Jai. So this is supposed to be detecting that this cone, you can see the little tiny dot in the center of my staff and the little dots on the left-hand side. This cone is supposed to be intersecting this guy. My GJK algorithm is not working. Jai is not publicly available, right? That's right. I'm working on a, I don't know how to explain it, like action game. Oh, I think I've actually seen your stream. Yeah, I have. Action game, it looked really good, I remember. Musical stuff. Do you have anything? Do you have a Steam page or something you can link? Insane shader magic high art multi-year indie game. Masterpiece. Yeah, I saw that. I think it looked really good when I checked on it. I was very impressive. So I'm trying to debug the GJK algorithm. I'm not actually going to do this on stream, but I'm pretty sure figured out without actually debugging what the problem is. The support function, when you're trying to get the support point for the next step in the GJK algorithm, essentially manipulates a direction with the transformation matrix, right? But I'm inverting the transformation matrix, so this is not how you calculate the correct transformation matrix for a direction manipulation. So it's actually this. Here's a playlist video from like 4 years ago. Oh my god. I don't have OBS set up to watch Chrome. Everyone should check this out though. Yeah, this looks really good. Damn. How did you learn to do all this shader stuff? Because I started my work yesterday on this Frost Mage ability, and it looked like shit. And then I basically trashed everything I did and like took my time and did my own little shader thing with this Frost Mage ability, and now it looks pretty good. But if I were to do anything more complex than this little Frost Mage Air Gust ability, I think I would not be able to, actually. I'll watch this off stream. This is for... Wait, I missed some stuff. Direction vector of non-uniformly scaled, right? Yeah, that's right. Doing enrichment spells. Yep. I've been doing procedural graphics in 2004. Just practice, I guess. Yeah, that's what I figured. Damn. Yes, the eyebrows. Damn. Got eyebrows. So I want to do this stuff, transform at the start of this function, so that it doesn't have to happen ever again. And the problem is, I need a matrix 3. I don't know if I'm just allowed to rip it out of this. So the matrix 3 is... Yeah. I am not. I could just make it myself, though. Gonna run thanks for showing the game. It looks great. Hope you get stuff working. Thanks. Stream popping. I got a huge raid. These are not my viewers. What's up, Google? Yeah, have a good day, Jessica. So I'm just gonna construct a mat 3 myself. How would I go about that? I kind of am hesitant to just pass in every single value. Although, it is kind of okay to do that. I'm surprised there's not like a method for this. Oh, actually there is. Alright. Make matrix 3. The make functions in Jai have been getting slowly removed, so I don't know how long this is gonna last. I am your viewer. That's true. Couldn't you just use w equals 0, know the part transfer? Yeah, I could. Thanks for the follow. I could do that, but I would also have to set... Oh, you mean after the transform happens? Actually, yeah. Actually, yeah. I think I don't actually know 100% what happens. Well, these transforms happen before it turns into a mat, so yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure I could. Definitely pretty sure. Does VS Code have a plugin for OpenGL? Well, it has a plugin for GLSL, which is the shader language, which I have enabled, but it doesn't work that great for me. Otherwise, I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I think every support function treats this as a direction, so actually I can basically get rid of these transforms at the top, I'm realizing. Trying to think how I should do that. Like, yeah, the call to the function itself doesn't really have to be efficient, but the stuff happening inside the function does. And I mean, this definitely should not be happening here, first of all. And the rest of this, for whatever reason, doesn't have a transform. Where is this even used? A get support call that doesn't use a transform. Actually nowhere? Is this like some legacy thing? If only your editor support inline giant strings with different syntax highlighting. Also, hey, I use stance. That's the thing is, that's how I have it set up, but it doesn't look to me like it works. Like I have this thing, right? And technically it's highlighted, but I don't think it should look like this. I don't know. That's what you're talking about, right? So this is kind of what I want to do, I guess. I'll say like a raw transform, and then this is going to be raw transform something. And I want to get the scale of it. How do you do that? Decompose, let's see. Matrix stuff. Should be a decompose function. Get scale. Okay. Column, man. I can just call this then. Because sometimes I think the inverse function or something is actually not that simple. Transform, I'll say transform scale 1 is get the scale of transform 1. You know what? Fuck it. This is just gonna, I'm just gonna do it all the time. So there we go. It should just work now, I think. If that was the bug, which I think it is. So that you were asking about just setting W to 0, I don't actually even have to do that. Because I'm using, when I transform the points... Oh shit. It still has to be inverted. when I transform the point, I think I'm just multiplying it by the W value being... Oh, that probably is what you meant. But see, I shouldn't even be doing this. This is how I'm doing it right now. It's actually... There's a better way. There's a transform vector function. This should be called inverted transform, and just give it the direction, and it just does the math itself. Okay, so... Fuck. I guess it needs both. Using VS Code? Wait, using VS Code to program Jai feels like an elaborate insult. I'll just add them. A lot of people use, what's it called? Focus. People use Focus, yeah. Fox, I got it. Do people use Sublime? I mean, John uses some thing that I am super not familiar with, and it does not look appealing to me. Emacs, oh, is that what that is? Not a fan. So I need both. So here's transforming the vector by this thing, the largest vertex. This is actually a point. So it's actually giving you back the point. So largest vertex transform point. I actually have not touched this code in like a year. That looks right. Okay, I think it's done. I think I'm just gonna comment these out because I don't know what the fuck these are. Probably from earlier attempts of what I was trying to do with GJK. Work. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, everyone be sure to check out Fat Goblins on Steam. Wow. Inverted transform, okay. Now every time it calls get support. Can I do this all at once? Probably. I hope I don't fuck this up. So there's the transform and then the inversion of that transform. So there we go, and this is not right. Uh-oh. This is not right because the inversion is what's used to modify only the directions. So this one is used specifically for transform vector. This one is used for transform point. So essentially this has to go in here. And actually that stays as it is, as transform. I mean, this name is really deceptive, so I don't really like this so much, but let's try this out. The bug might be fixed. I missed one. Oh. There's a whole nother function. God damn it. This function, I figured out myself. This function resolves GJK in a specific direction. And I'm using it for stair stepping. So I just have to do the same thing with the supports. Get support, get support. This function is also not as efficient. But having the ability to resolve GJK in a specific direction is really useful. Damn, look how much code this is. Oh my god. So there's this, and then there's invert this. Let's try this. There should be a transform direction if you're passing direction versus scale the vector point. If you're passing directions. There is a transform vector function which is equivalent to transform direction. That is the same thing. I think that's what you're saying. And there's EPA. God damn it. So after some random constants, you have your inverted transpose inverse. Okay. Now back to get supports. EPA is really simple. I guess because it takes the GJK simplex. So there we go. And I realized one is called transform point. Yeah, there's transform vector and transform point. Alright, come on. Hit the guy. Yay, it works. Cool. I am pretty scared of what I just did. Changing that GJK code is pretty scary. Let me go push that and commit it. Dej W, yeah. Let's see. This is called Code of Physics. Updated GJK dir EPA to use no, how would you direction can I don't know. Transform matrix. That hat looked very appealing. I play a game that shows that battle other wizards. You do steal their hats. That's one of the mechanics. Yeah. Did I push it? I did. So this guy gets hit. Yeah, so you do steal their hats, and there can be two types of upgrades. You can upgrade your buildings to get the second tier of each class's hat. So the Frost Mage is actually a tier 2 class. And then there's personal upgrades. Okay, I'm just checking it one more time. Cool. It's too long though. So when you pick up their hat, you get both of those. Hey, user 1482. What a name. Music's too quiet. Okay, hear me out. When you pick up a hat, it's stacked on top. And then when you use the ability, you use all of the hat's abilities at the same time.
Work.
Thanks for the follow. Check out Fat Goblins. Wishlist. So next, this works. I'm gonna add a task. Task add make shield effects along with the goblin's body. Let's see, is this how I do it? There we go. Okay, so now I need to limit the movement of the goblin. What do I do? I guess I need to limit the rotation of the goblin while he's casting this ability. Because I can move it around, which is weird. Okay, so first, before I do this, Frostbind Manager. Damage distance. I'm gonna guess it's something like this. And this is what I scale this guy by. And I can remove these. No, I should keep it. Because the shader has a cutoff at the very end. There's like a cutoff gradient thing to make it fade out. I think it's 10 or 20% of the distance. That looks pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of about when I'd expect him to hit him. Okay. that's done. I can remove these little debug pixels. Now I'm gonna restrict the rotation of the goblin, and I think I might already have a way to do this. I do have a way to do this. I just have to figure out what it is. Desired rotation lock amount. That is it. So you set this to something. Okay, so it's a lock, so you're setting it to 1. So Frost Mage class, when you start casting this, this is on first cast, so actually I want it to be if you're a client goblin, and yeah, what even would this be? So this is when it starts. It should be called like cast duration, right? I don't have a good way to do this. I guess I would need to rip it from this file. All this can just be public, it doesn't matter. So this is actually not right either, because the lock probably should be instant. Okay. So there's a desired rotation lock amount and there's an actual rotation lock amount. And the reason is because typically it's interpolated. This is some little crappy interpolation code. Yeah, that's not how this is going to work though. They are the same. I want him to lock instantly, I think. So this is right when he starts casting the ability. This is, next out time is less than this plus the Frostbind duration. This is basically when it's over. It's going to be weird though that he's going to unlock himself. The lock is going to be instant, the unlock is going to be interpolated. We'll see how it feels though. Oh, wait, it did work. It did work, but it's fucking weird. I think it's weird because I'm spamming it like this. And I'd say it technically doesn't work. Like, I can feel when it does lock and when it unlocks, but the timing doesn't seem right to me. I think because at the time when the delta time of this animation has reached the Frostbind duration, let's see. The entire thing is Frostbind duration plus 300. So yeah, there's 100 milliseconds left over where it's just not locked. Okay, there is another way to do this. Trying to think exactly. So there's two ways I could do this. I could lock it in the actual Frostbind manager, so that would be in control of when the goblin locks himself. And I made it with this desired lock value so that it's kind of like ownership independent. But the other way to do it is, you can see when I shoot this out, it actually disconnects from his staff like 75% of the way through, which is right about when the animation finishes. So the other way to do it would be I can keep it following his staff for the first little tick, and then the rest of the time it can just be a position offset from the character. In fact, I think it should just be a position offset from the character, because when I'm wiggling, that's not that bad. Is it? Yeah, you're probably right. Let me fix it. My audio setup is like busted and I can't get it fixed yet, so hang on. Let me fix it real quick. Okay, is it fixed? Is it fixed, and is my little guy's not talking? Seems better? Okay. Yeah, it actually does get broken often. Yeah, what the fuck do I do about this? Locking it to the actual character offset doesn't seem great either. So... I also don't really want to tie it into the animation. Alright, let me just try this out. I'll try just moving it over to the Frost Bind Manager. So in the update method, if you are the client, I guess I'll just get the goblin. Goblin ID, if you found the guy, that should do it. This is a design decision, but you can make the ability hold instead of press, and it always follows for the duration. So it stays in place or it gets removed upon release. Like when you release the button, it either disconnects from the staff or just finishes. I had it originally disconnecting from the staff, but it was visually strange because the duration of the ability is actually like quite a bit. So when I walk away from it, it being just floating there in air as a cone was kind of odd looking to me. This feels good now, but it's like way too strong. Damn it, I don't like this either. Alright, it's going back to how it was. It was fine before. It was only weird at like the last 20% of the ability, and it felt a lot better this way for some reason. I'm not too sure exactly what you're aiming to achieve. Maybe a good idea would to curve the magic wave itself could be used. Yeah. You mean like as you're moving the cursor? So what I'm trying to achieve, I guess, is I want it to stay connected to the staff. But when you wiggle the staff around, it looks visually odd. So first, I want it to stay connected to the staff. Second, I want it to have a locked-in direction, because otherwise the best way to use this ability would be spinning, because it only hits each person once. So you would want to actually like... You would actually want to like spin to hit everyone around you. And that's not great gameplay design, I think. It's kind of like a unique mechanic, but it looks really fucking dumb to have everyone spinning their abilities like this. So... yeah. Found Goblin, I did get rid of this. So those are the two restrictions, and based on those restrictions, the only things I can think to do are... What I'm saying is the magic starts going in the player-facing direction, but then aims towards the mouse in a curve. The more the difference, the more curve the wave. Yeah, that would look really good. that would look really good. The problem is that it's hard to do. Let me think. And then also, I don't think it offers, it would look really good and be nice. I don't think it actually, in terms of like, what's the word? Like the abilities of the class or the capabilities of the class, I don't actually think it helps much. Because bending it just a little bit, it's like more responsive, which is good. But I'm trying to think, is it like, I think doing that would take me maybe like 4 or 8 hours or something. Yeah, I don't know. Hard to do. All you need to do is split the wave in a few chain vectors. It is already in a chain vector. The problem is that for one, the shader is dependent on this thing being linear. I'd have to change the shader a little bit. And then two, the GJK algorithm, which it's using right now, depends on, it just assumes everything you give it is a convex shape. And so if I'm actually curving it, that's no longer true. And I'd have to change it just to like, this isn't that hard either, but I'd have to change it to a bunch of line segments and checking the distance to each individual line segment. But so overall, it's just like, and I just don't think, I'm pretty sure the benefit of doing that is not huge. So that's why. It'd probably take like 4 hours, which is not that bad, but it's a really fast ability anyways. Debug hit goblins. I do agree it would look better though. It would probably play slightly better too. Oh wait, I'm not done. This player would be inside the curve. Maybe it could be kept convex. No, because depends how much it can curve, I guess, but essentially no. Here's player A. This is friendly player. This is enemy player. Here's my ability. Okay, I'll put him here. This is complicated to think about. Yeah, it doesn't matter where he is. So I'm shooting this. Here's my line. So here's my actual ability. With just using GJK and not changing the physics algorithm, this would hit the player. Because GJK thinks everything is convex. So actually, this is the collision polygon. This whole thing. So that's why if I were to do this, I would have to sample the radius against all these individually curved line segments. Which is not that bad, but it's just like I'm adding a lot of complexity for what I don't think is a huge difference to the ability. Because it's so fast anyways, the actual benefit of curving it you'd almost never see it. So all I'm gonna do is, this is why it didn't work. Wait, I have two, oh my fucking god. I hate that you're allowed to do this in Jai. So this is a file with its own scope. This is the scope export. So this affects everything. Like this frostbind duration is accessible to everything. And down here, I have frostbind duration in scope file. This is an inner scope. So this is only accessible to this file. So this thing wins. I'm allowed to have both because they're name conflicts in different scopes, but this thing wins. So really weird. This is probably start duration. So this one is start duration. This is the actual ability duration. Should at least give a warning here. I think it's really good in Jai that you can override variable names from outer scopes. But a file, I think, uniquely as a one-off situation should not be considered an inner scope. What was I even checking? Oh, yeah, that feels better. Better, however, I don't like it. I think it needs to go away right when the ability disconnects from my staff. And I know this is going to open up some weirdness. So, okay. Frostbind connected duration. So it's this guy times 0.6 is what it actually is. So I will have to do both of these. So yeah, it can still turn. And that's how I want it. This feels good now. And actually, I might want to set this to like 0.9 or something. Let's see how that feels. And then as you're using your Frostbind ability, I'm going to update its offset from your character. And then when you're past that disconnect duration, we will only use the offset from your character. This feels better, a lot better. I don't like how often your abilities go into the water. I think maybe that shouldn't be a thing. It's gonna come out, I'd be a Frost Mage main. You know, the problem is I probably would too. And I think all the mage classes end up a lot better than the melee classes. This feels okay. I'm still gonna try that disconnect thing. So that's happening here. You have your position. Goblin offset. That happens here. If time minus Frostbind start is greater than the Frostbind connected duration. Wait. Is less than. I guess this is the pointer. Ah. Not a pointer, it happens here. Okay. If it's less than the connected duration, the Frostbind, guess that goes there too. This does some stuff. Offset position, what did I call it? Goblin offset. It is this minus the get goblin position at time. Is that how this works? Do you have Frost Nova ability? What? Why the kappa? Get this thing. I guess I do have to tell it if I'm a client. So goblin equals client goblin. This is the offset. Actually then, I can just update this every time if there is a goblin. So this is get the interpolated, I guess I'll do that right now. Goblin position is get the interpolated position of the goblin. And it's this plus the goblin offset. So otherwise, no, that's it. Yeah, that's all I do. I think that works. Let's try it out. Hi, puppy. Okay. That makes a lot more sense visually. It's like almost not even noticeable, but at the very end of this, it does not follow my cursor anymore. Yeah. Done. It does damage. Locks your rotation. Stops tracking staff after 60%. Okay. What was on my to-do list? Task done. How does this work? 1? Okay. Task done. 2. I'm actually gonna do the chili effect thing now, because this is gonna be kind of interesting. Yeah. And I'll say, okay, this is fine. So I'm gonna do this chili effect by basically making some crystals on the goblin body. The chili effect, I think, is going to be used by more than just this guy, so this is kind of important. Okay, let me get rid of these bones somehow. There we go. You can be applied there. I don't know exactly how I want to do this. Let me import the OBJ of the crystal. That might be the best way. Yeah, see, if I actually do it this way, it's not gonna look good. Can I lock this or something? No. Okay, let me do it a different way. I'm gonna make a bunch of shapes and stick them in the goblin. I hope this looks good. We'll find out in like 10 minutes. This should be local transformation, I think. I only have to do 1/2 of this guy's body and then just duplicate it. Which way is this not Y? Wait, what? Not Z. The only note that I have is that the title promises Fat Goblins presumably the princess subjected to obesity. Do the goblins get fat at some point? Do they need to... Get the need to change name. Something doesn't add up. The goblins do not get fat. Only the princess. Unfortunately. If there's character customization in the future, which may be a Kickstarter goal at some point, then I think they will get fat. You can make them as fat as you want. I thought about having the goblins being the one to eat the meat and they like regurgitate it back into the princess. But that didn't make it. I need both of these guys. Just this direction. Okay. Now just this guy. Okay. Good. I think that's good. Now let's make another cylinder. Also pretty good. Why? How did it skew itself? I don't even think I've even rotated this yet. Interesting. Definitely messed up. That's fine. This is not a precise thing that's happening. All right. And now the arms. That's probably good enough. I think I may... Yeah, we'll see. Okay, now for the arms. So basically, I'm aligning all these cylinders. Whoops. I'm going to take this at the end of the process, subdivide it as few times as I can get away with. And then I'm gonna make little shards of ice stick out from his body, and then I'm gonna treat this basically as clothing. And when he's chilled, I'm gonna stick this on him. It's so weird working in local space like this. Okay. Height-wise, this one looks good. That looks good. There we go. This one is gonna have to get subdivided already. Actually, yeah, I guess so. I'll just do it now. So, crap. Let's grab this guy. I don't want to scale in the Z direction. Shit. I rotate it a little bit. Move it up X. There we go. Good enough. His head, yeah, I guess should be chilly too. And his shoulders. Okay, hang on. Seems good. That's a shoulder. That's not right. Oh, I did not realize it was sticking out so much. Whoops. Basically, the whole thing is sticking out that much, so I can probably just scale it all back to like that, and then I'll scale it manually from this point. Okay, even that's not good enough. Yeah, it's kind of very hard to see what's happening. Oops. So like that, like that. This is good. Didn't think this would be an art stream today. Fuck. Really? Wait, oh my god, I have an idea. I'm gonna keep this as it is. I'm gonna try something real quick. And thanks for following. What if I take an icosphere, I subdivide the fuck out of it, and then I position it like this or something, and then I somehow maybe find a way to shrink wrap it to his body. The problem is shrink wrap is... I may drop by somewhere later. Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. Shrink wrap is typically convex only. Yeah. Actually, I'm kind of just trying to make his body. So what if I take his body and just delete some stuff, stitch some stuff back together? Let's try. And subdivide that. Try cloth. Wait, what does that do? I don't actually know how to use Blender. What does that do? How do I use it? You're talking about with the sphere I just made? I can delete all this stuff. I should be able to select more. Select more. I don't have a numpad. Oh, vertices are not merged. Merge vertices by distance. Okay, perfect. A beautiful goblin. What else? I don't need that. That one might be part of his body. I think you can use a plane above his head to simulate cloth falling on him. I'll try that. That sounds like it would still be mostly convex though, like semi-convex, which I don't want. Select more, select more. Wait, it is connecting to his head. I wonder what connected to his head. Don't know any more details I've seen before. Let me try it real quick. I'm just curious what will happen. Put it plain. Thanks for following. Yeah, check out Fat Goblins on Steam and wishlist it, because that's literally the only reason I'm streaming. Subdivide, 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 subdivide. Okay, now let's see what can happen. You're probably under physics, right? Cloth. I don't know how this works. Settings are inside the physics tab. Uh-oh. Yeah, I might not fuck with this. Does it have like just a gravity thing I could apply? Yeah, whatever. I'm pretty sure this is not what I want anyways, because I don't want anything convex at all. Can I wonder if I can separate by like selections? Whoa, I didn't know he's so ugly when you shade him flat. But anyways, I guess I can't separate by selection. So let me just continue with my deleting of things. Let me try these ones. Select more. More, yeah, these ones do seem to be separate. Good. The tusks are part of him, I think. Actually, the tusks don't look like they're part of him. Those can get separated out then. I wish I had a numpad, man. Alright, what else? Everything else is part of him, unfortunately. So that's it. Now I will subdivide the fuck out of them. Well, not that much. Like, this might be good. Okay. Here's what I think I'm gonna do. I get rid of that. I can. I'm gonna add a deform, displacement deform, using a texture from my game. New texture. Let me make a new texture and open an image from my game. Assets noise. I want one of these two noises. Probably this one. Okay, there's my texture too. Now, let's see what happens. Why does it do nothing at all? Because I'm in edit mode. Okay, so this does not look like I thought it would at all. I need to sample the texture, like... Why is there no sample scale? Is it in this thing? Mapping, repeat X. Can I increment this? Yeah, that technically works, it looks like. I don't know. Oh, it looks so bad. So, this idea is not going to work. Let me try to undo all this as much as I can so he's not subdivided. Okay. This idea is not going to work, which means also this idea is not going to work, unfortunately. So instead, let me make a couple different little shards of ice. This is harder than I thought it was going to be, actually. Wait, that's not the kind of sphere I want. I want an icosphere. Okay. I don't know how many I need, but I'm gonna try to make them with similar methods. Edit mode, grab the vertices. This is actually fine. That's all it really has to do. I'm just gonna grab some other random vertices on this guy. So like these, and I'll pull these forward a little bit. Make some extra little things one more time. Not quite that much, like that. And then apply some noise. I could do this differently. I'll try this out real quick. This would be pretty interesting looking. So take all of these, subdivide them a couple times. Now I'll do a similar thing. I want to make my own texture. Wait, no. Displacement to form a new texture. It's a cloud RGB something texture. Where is that? Here you go. Okay, now I'm using that texture. This should be applied to all of them. Copy to selected. Okay. So, wait, I shouldn't have copied it yet. Okay, let's not copy it yet. It's a RGB to XYZ. There we go. So it's not going to look this bad when I'm done, hopefully. Okay, I'm also now realizing I have to grab the edges and do it again. They're not sharp enough. And now they're super subdivided, I can do it even more. So shrink this down to like 0.5 now. Like these don't have to be that precise because it's going to be really tiny when I'm done with this. I'm just totally, completely guessing as I go, by the way. All right. This one maybe needs one more. This one maybe needs that. Done. Okay, so now I take this guy, and he's all manipulated like ice. Kind of looks like ice. And the goal now, I'm going to make it a little bit more intense. I don't want it to go back into itself. Maybe 0.6. And now you get applied to everything else. And now you get subdivided. Or not subdivided. What's the word? Decimated. So this will probably leave some random triangles of arbitrary sizes based on the subdivided noise. And the problem is you can see it also kind of has like some degenerate vertices or whatever. But okay, let's continue. I want it to be like honestly pretty not subdivided because I'm going to have a lot of these. That looks pretty good. Looks like ice. Now you get copied to selected. Boom. Here's all my individual ice. Okay. Let's just go through and apply these. Is there a shortcut for that? Control A. What? Didn't work. What did I do? Apply. All right, there's my ice. Now I'm going to take a couple of these combinations. So this should be fine. And I'm going to try to make these like merged. I don't know if this is going to work. Is there a modifier for this? First of all, join. Boolean. Intersect. It can't just intersect with itself? So maybe I shouldn't join it. Go back. Okay, they're no longer joined. So I'm combining icosphere 4 and 5, I guess. I've never used this before. Uh-oh. Did that work? Yeah, actually. Neat. You're trash now. I think though before I do that, let's undo. Undo. Don't even do the boolean yet. I would need to take this guy, put him here, scale him. This is kind of my goal. Something like this. And then I'll apply some more transformations to this. Union with 4 and 5. And apply. Delete. Something like that. Get over there. 6 and 7. Okay. I think I can get rid of the seam by just probably decimating one more time, maybe. Yeah, it looks fine to me. Kind of also turns it into its own type of object. So, good enough. Now, these have to get placed on this guy's body. I bet there's a way to do this. So this, for the chilled effect, this might be where I stop for now. Because I might need to look this up. Let me try real quick. It's gonna be something like a particle something. Yeah, it's hair, isn't that it? Generation. See, I don't know what I'm doing. Do you work on your game off stream? I do. I do. Lately, it's like maybe 50-50. Working on stream actually definitely slows me down, which is why if I can't actually notice a benefit in like a month from doing this for wish lists, I'm not going to do it anymore. See, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So the surface, armature, sure. Don't know what this is. I need it to be based on the normal value. Yeah, this doesn't look good to me right now. This is not right. I wonder what skin does. Oh, I broke it. Okay, good time to eat a snack. Hang on. Holy shit. Snackies. How many months have you been streaming Donut for this game? Like a week. Week and a half. But, man, settings in the particle tab. I'll check. I don't know about this, man. Okay, hair. Okay, there we go. This is kind of what I need. Are you getting 30 viewers? Yeah, but emit from faces, distribution. I don't know the difference. Yeah, but as far as I can tell, it doesn't help my wish list at all. Like, I actually kind of naturally, I don't know how, the game gets an average of like 8 wish lists a day with me doing nothing at all for advertising. I don't post on YouTube, I don't post on Twitter or TikTok or anything. And since I've been streaming for like 2 weeks, the last week I've been getting like 20 viewers, not 30, but I got rated today. But since I've been streaming to like 20 people for a week, I have not seen the wishlist count go up noticeably. Maybe it is fine. The normals... Actually, it does look like it. Okay, this is okay. Here's shape. What am I supposed to do with this? Advanced? No. Okay, so this is... I'm going to save this as an actual Blender file. I think I'm on the right track. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to have to look up a Blender hair tutorial. I'll call this chill body crystals. Good stream for only doing this a week or two. Thanks. Well, I did stream some other stuff in the past, like a long time ago, but to like 5 viewers. And I haven't done that in like years. So I'm gonna say this one's it's not done. What do I do? I'm gonna say task done, make chilled. Okay, now this thing is gonna take me like 6 hours, and I'm not streaming that long today. So let's see. This is gonna be like the Frostbind ability, but much harder. Should I do the Frost Nova or should I do the Frozen and Ice Block thing? I'll do Frost Nova because Frost Nova tasks, that's not a thing, but it's on the right side of the screen. The Frost Nova results in it can result in 2 kinds of ice blocks. If you freeze yourself, it's like a solid ice block where you don't take damage, and if you freeze enemies, it's like a restrictive ice block that's not solid. So I'm gonna have like crystals shoot up from the ground and grab their hands. So yeah, I guess let me do this. Frost Nova. How do I want this to look? I think it might have 2 parts to it. Man, I don't know. The like obvious thing to do actually would fuck, this is exactly what I should do. And it's more hair particles. For someone who was dropped as a baby, what programming language is this? This is Jai, the programming language being made by Jonathan Blow. So the obvious thing to do here, I'm gonna make a really shitty version. So I have this saved. Let's save another one as Frost Nova. Now I can delete this guy. In title, thank you. Yeah, it's in the title to bait people in here. So the goal is, why is that see-through? What? Huh. I guess I'll do instead of Taurus then. 0. I'm gonna align these along the edges. Or, yeah, fuck, I don't know what to do. I think it would look better if I don't do that. So instead, I'm gonna actually have all of these be particles in the game. Okay, so I have to take one of these, and it is the chosen ice block thing. Which one looks like the most balanced or something? Maybe one of these two. I'm gonna go with this one. It is you. This is the chosen ice block thing. Let's kind of center it the best we can. That looks okay. Apply. I'll leave it at that size. Let's see. Don't need a UV map. And then it has normals, everything else is fine. So it's applied. Let's export this. It's probably okay. Export as OBJ, selected, assets, abilities. This is a Frost Nova shard. Oh, I gotta be right back. My dog's freaking out. No UV coordinates, selected only, normals. So, okay. So the goal is, I'll start this code real quick and then be right back. These are gonna be particles. Yeah, because I'm gonna make them and forget about them. Frost Nova shard system. It's not a geometry particle, it's something. Okay. So what's going to happen is when you do the Frost Nova ability, all these little actual 3D model particles are going to shoot out from the ground and progress like a Frost Nova would. So while I'll be right back, I'm going to let this play and you can listen to Little Goblin head bob to the music. I'm back. Okay, let's do this. Frost Nova Shard Particle. Yeah, it doesn't have to be called system. So it'll have all this stuff that has to do... Actually... So I could do this one of two ways. It could be a particle system, or it could be an instance model. So if it's a particle system, the benefit is the particle system update method will handle itself. It'll remove things itself from the list. Yeah, let me think here. If it's an instanced model, I'll have to go through and create every single one myself every frame. There's probably going to be like 500 or something. But otherwise, yeah, that is kind of a lot. I would have to create all 500 myself every frame, but otherwise I have to go through in the particle system and update the properties myself every frame. So I'm going to choose the particle system version. How does this work? You say place M1 model matrix 4 is nothing. So these overlap. And then is that really how it should work? Yeah, because it needs a position, a scale, and a rotation, so yep. Okay. Now I guess this one has the start time. And all that data just gets pumped into this. No, not exactly. It has a position, a vector 3, a rotation, which is, I guess, a quaternion. And the scale is calculated in the update method. So this is it. Sort is false, but it does have a Frost Nova Shard Particle update. So GPU, CPU, okay. And I guess it's good save for something. I'll just call it particle duration. Each one will last, we'll say, like, for now, a whole second. I think I want like 400 milliseconds. So I guess I don't need particle. Scaling duration. Scale out duration. it's weird because this isn't correct, but okay, we'll just say like 200. Then create Frost Nova Shard Particle. It needs time, which is a float. You mentioned no noticeable change in wishlist and streaming. Would putting the game name in the title help? I don't know. I guess I'll try it tomorrow. I guess I can just change it now. I don't really see why it would, because I think the problem is people don't have, like, you know, the desire to go wish this a random game. So much less so saying just the name and the title. If me saying randomly, hey, wish this the game on Steam doesn't work, I don't think just saying the name and the title would, but might as well try. Position. It has a position. And how would I do this? I could give it radians. And a radius. It returns both of these. I guess people browsing categories might search it. Well, I hope. We'll see. Someone from the Fat Goblins Discord offered to help me with YouTube videos. So at the same time he's doing that, I'm going to be making some like more compact but highly detailed like YouTube shorts and upload those to TikTok and YouTube. I think maybe everything in combination with each other, linking back to everything, might over time pop off, but hard to say. So I'll just say offset x is cosine of radians times radius. This is actually z, and it's probably backwards. So shard position is position plus a vector 3 of offset x, 0, offset z. That's this guy. Now I rotate it. I'm trying to think how I want to rotate this. Shard direction. This is definitely not going to be right, but we'll try this out. Make rotation quaternion. Wait, that's not what I want. I'm going to take the offset. Let me just do this then. I'll make an offset vector. And then this guy is a normalize of the offset vector plus 0, radius 0. So when they're at their maximum radius, the angle is basically going to be pointing 45 degrees up. When they're in the center, the angle is pointing straight up. Oh wait, no. This means they'll just always be pointing basically 45 degrees, and that's fine actually. That's more what I would prefer. Okay, so now the shard rotation is the make rotation quaternion from the shard direction. We'll rotate it. This is definitely not right because this guy is expecting the shards are pointing exactly at -z, and they're not. I might as well just fix that now. That is... wait, what? Global. Okay, this is -z. Triangulate. Oh, I didn't triangulate it. Frost Nova Shard. That looks correct. Okay, now it should look right. I didn't think about this. This is fine, but none of this actually has to happen here because the skill is 0. Whatever. I am allowed to just say 0. There we go. So that's everything in the GPU. The CPU has a position. No, the position is this. The CPU has a rotation. Okay, so I need this data anyways. Start is time. So this is what happens in the update method. Calculate your progress here. CPU start over. Well, progress in. Just clamp progress out. What would this be? You take this whole thing, you subtract this from it, and then you divide by scale out. So it basically flips it. Instead of going from 0 to 1,000, it goes from 1,000 to 0. Scale out. All right. I can just multiply them. Oh wait, that's not right. That's just scale, actually. So then also, I forgot, this guy needs destroy. That's a requirement of the particle system. Time minus CPU start is, I'll say, greater than duration. That's how you destroy it. So, I think that's it. Now I just have to scale it by scale. Okay, I think in reality, when I'm done with this, the scale stuff is going to scale differently for X and Z versus Y. I think I would want X and Z to come in really fast, and then Y, like, extend. So it's like a rolling shard field thing. So anyways, we'll try this. Okay, now I have to have another shader. I'm gonna copy, oh fuck. I have to have another part. So this gets copied. Ice parts. Let's call it ice part. Okay, so what's actually happening? I need a method. Calculate ice color. So actually that's what it's named. Calculate ice color part. Really? Calculate color, calculate color. It's not even called part. Calculate ice color. Okay. What does it take? I don't want to pretend like I have this information now that it's in its own file. It should be totally independent. So, camera. It calculates the direction. Norm. This can go here. Oh, so this depends on map constants. because that is how you get access to this. I feel like I'm missing one thing, am I not? Is this really all it needs? I'll call it normal. Position. Just double checking it all. Okay. It's a Vec 4, I guess. I think it's done. I think it has to be positioned like that. Alright, there's my calculate ice color thing. So now the ice shader, you just have that. You don't care about map constants. Actually, this is the really basic ice shader, so it wants position normal camera. VPOS, normalize your norm, the camera. Alright. So now I'll copy all this, and this becomes the something. Oh man, this is gonna be giant. It's Frost Nova Shard Particle Shader. Ice. Okay, let's initialize it. Alphabetically, Frostbind. Where'd it go? After Frostbind. It does need current map because it requires map constants, so there we go. Okay, so what does this actually have in it? It does. I think this is it. And then it's. Wait, why is it exactly the same? I'll keep it as a separate shader, I guess? Huh. I kind of don't want to keep it. Okay. Let's just comment that out here. So the ice shader is exactly the same. This is particle inputs. That is all my particles are. Frost Nova shard particle. Yep. I think this will just work. So this way I can just avoid as long as I can continue using this, which I might be able to, I can avoid a potential shader swap if I do this right. Okay. Now I have to actually render them, so... Where'd that particle system go? It's never initialized. Ice shader. I'm not loading the geometry. Let's do that. Frost Nova shard geometry. Abilities. Geom. Okay. That looks good. I think this is a geometry you want. I think I'm done. I usually forget something when I'm doing this particle system stuff, but let's just try. So in the Frost Nova Manager, you will particle system update and render this guy with the time. Okay. Why do I already have all this math? Oh, because the Frost Nova does freeze people. Oh, I forgot. Okay. Let's try this out. It's not going to do anything, but let's just see that I didn't break anything. Shard position. That is just CPU position. And actually shard rotation is CPU rotation. Am I setting these? I am. Ah. I'll just call it progress scale or something. Can't overlap names even of function types. No music. So he's frozen. And it goes away instantly because I'm going to make it explode. Okay, so anyways, it's not broken. Let's actually add the particles now. Add particles, look at that. Yeah, so every frame, I guess I have to get the current radius. And I think I'll just call it this. Progress float gives you back the radius. So it's gonna be, I have this thing now, Desmos. Oh. Like that. That's all I do. 1 minus 1 over x squared. That looks correct enough. At least to get started. Now I get radius. So current radius is this thing. You know, this is maybe not actually going to work, but before I worry about it, let's just try this out. Man, I'll just stick this here. It's progress. Oh, and times Frost Nova radius. So this also, wait, what the fuck? I already had this method? Oh. Hey, it did the same exact thing. Oh, but then I squared it. Oh, no, I didn't. It's progress. Hey, it's the exact same thing. Wow. It's actually exact same code. Okay, so there's my radius. So that's what I was going to check. This thing should be using the radius also, but I guess it is. Yeah. Nice. Now that I have the radius, I need to basically calculate the circumference, which scales linearly with radius, so shard count is going to be something like round radius times, I don't know, 32. That sounds like a lot. That's way too much. Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to try this for now. Maybe not round, but cast it to an integer. Yeah. Particle system, I will add one particle at a time, unfortunately. The shard system. Create Frost Nova Shard Particle. I had it right, it just didn't autocomplete. Time, position, radians, radius. Radians is cast to flow I over pi times 2. Wait, no, what? I over... What am I doing? Also, just this, because I don't want it to ever actually reach this. So this is the progress value times pi times 2. Okay. Let me double check that. That looks right. Alright, now the radius, I just give it radius. And then I add the GPU and the CPU particles into the system. So that's done. I think it'll work. Somehow I'm very skeptical this is gonna work. Let's try it out. Get Frost Nova Radius. Oh, the name was different. Yeah, that's true. Cast float to time. All right. I guess it's maybe way too many. I'm surprised it doesn't lag at all. Oh, it does. My FPS goes from 280 to 250 to 150. Holy shit, that's bad. But it's like way too many particles, and they're also, I think, way too small. Let's just try 12 or something. It might be better if I construct these rings myself instead of relying on particles like in Blender. Okay, there's still too many. And I forgot this. Agreed, it looks nice though. Yeah. It looks like something coherent. I don't know if it looks nice yet. This guy, I think it should be like 50, 100, and 300. I think that having the duration is actually important. Yeah, I'll do it later though. So it's still too many. It also, they need to be randomly rotated, first of all. And I don't know what to do. Let's just cut it in half. So randomly rotating them is a bit difficult. Maybe it's not now. Random yaw. That's my random yaw. Random yaw rotation. Let's just call it yaw. Make rotation quaternion, and so this guy is not the same method. Vector and radians. I think I can give it this directional vector, and then I'll call it radians. And now I can probably say, I'm guessing I can multiply it like this. Let's try. Quaternion. Neon. That's interesting. Why does it look like that? What the oh, because I was standing on a... I don't know. Interesting. Okay, it needs to last so much longer than it does. It's also actually, the particle is too detailed, I realize now. Okay, the rotation is definitely not right. That looks so bad. Let's see. Why? Maybe I have to do it first? I don't know. Looks too realistic for style of the game. Try up vector. I do agree it looks too realistic for the style of the game. What are you talking about, though? There we go. That looks fucking weird. Why is it curved like that? Oh, because... Wait, no, I don't know why. What the fuck? And these ones are straight? These ones are curved? Does that have to do with this quaternion math I just applied? Let me just not do that. I mean, because you're rotating randomly around the shard direction. Oh, you're probably right. The thing is, a lot of times with quaternion math, if you already, like, the quaternion rotation I already have is essentially forcing it to be aligned with this direction. So since this rotation is already aligned with this direction, I should be able to use that direction as the axis for the next rotation, but it's not working, so yeah, it probably has to be up vector. Okay, so it was working. This does seemingly work. Hey there everyone, hey Private Shrek. Seemingly works. Like if I go look at them, they are randomly rotated. Yeah. It looks so bad, but ignoring that for now. I don't know. My first priority, I guess, is why does it form this pattern? It looks nice. It looks coherent. It must be... Dude, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have a starting offset. So... Radiant offset. Random get 0 to 1. So when I calculate the radians, I will add this in. I should probably debug it though before I do this, because it's not just this, I don't think, is the issue. Actually, I think it looks a lot better. Still not at all like I wanted it to. But the angle of them actually looks correct. Okay, so I think I'm not 100% sure what to do. Let me look at it again. I don't, in the context of how much space each individual shard takes up, I don't actually know if circumference is linear. Like, yeah, look at that. On the end there. Oh, because it's slowing down. Okay. Shit. So, okay. I kind of have to calculate the derivative of this. Radius derivative. I guess let me just see if Wolfram Alpha can do it real quick. Calculate derivative of y equals 1 minus x minus 1 times x minus 1. It says 2 minus 2x. Work. And thanks for the follow. So here's my slope from 0 to 1. 2 minus 2x. So the problem with the derivative is it's very literal. Like if I was placing infinite particles along this thing, as this thing approaches this point at the end, you would have actually infinite particles packed into here. But in reality, it's stepped. So what the fuck do I do? I was hoping it'd just be like a simple equation. This is right though. This is essentially saying I need 2 times the amount of particles at the start and 0 times the amount of particles at the end. The problem is I can't actually have it be 0. You know, out of curiosity, let me just try it. 2 minus 2x. Okay. So this times the derivative of the progress. Well, of the radius at the progress. There's just no fucking way this is right. I'm on the right path here, but literally using the derivative is not the right thing to do. I think it's not accounting for the fact that this is a 2D shape. Whoops. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not accounting for the fact that it's 2D. Wait, actually, that kind of looks right. Huh? Really? This means at the very end... Oh, Hero Dev, 41. Thanks, man. How's your stream? It's a lot of people. Check out Fat Goblins on Steam, everyone. Wishlist. How's your stream, Hero Dev? And if you wanna link your stuff, then feel free. Yeah, so I'm working on Fat Goblins. It's a PvP game where it's like a castle siege princess capturing game thing. And right now I'm working on the Frost Nova, which is not supposed to look this bad, but basically, I don't know how long you guys have context for this, probably not very long, but this is how it was before. I'm trying to scale the number of particles with the radius of like as it moves out. The problem is it's not a linear expansion, and so it ends up really concentrated around the edge, see? So I'm now also scaling it by the derivative of that same equation to calculate the radius. I was just getting my 3D debug drawing primitives rendering. Happy with the result. Nice. Very good. Already got a 3D engine in Jai. Oh, you're talking about me? I thought you were talking about you. Yeah, I've been in the Jai beta for a couple years. And the physics, by the way, is custom. Yeah, this does look better. So let's see if I can maybe double the amount of particles. And then And then I'm gonna make them fall off. Physics is custom, graphics is custom, networking is not really custom. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff built into this. Duration. Like I have a shader dependency tree thing that's also custom, and it uses Jai metaprogramming kind of a little bit. What do you use for networking? I use WebSocket PP right now. It might change. Okay. That looks kind of weird. I don't know why. I don't know if I like this plan of how I'm doing this right now. What do you use for shaders? What I do for shaders is... I'll show you a bit. So I just set this up. This is a shader dependency called the shader part. It depends on, well, let me take a step back. I have my ice shader, which creates a shader at compile time. And it takes, this one's just a string, it has no dependencies. This one has dependencies. Yeah, it's basically just a list of ordered string dependencies. So it has the version, has the inputs, because sometimes these need things also. And then it has this calculate ice color. So the calculate ice color ability is now in ice parts. What's actually, that should be calculate ice color parts. So this thing calculates the ice color with this method because this is potentially used in multiple shaders, and this depends on map constants because it has to know the direction of the light and stuff like that. Where is that? So map parts has like, so these are the dependencies for the different maps. It's like very, very simple. This guy just imports both of them. This is not well thought out. And the main thing here is that this depends on a string that you have to provide it. So when you're initializing the shaders, at compile time, it kind of goes through and picks out the various string names and exactly where to insert them. So when you initialize your shaders, it just kind of replaces this with whatever you give it. And it's required. Like it will fail when you try to initialize if you don't give it the right things. So it's a dependency system. It's just using kind of the Jai dependency stuff. So if I were to try to make this, let's see. If I were to stick this here, it's now a circular dependency and it won't compile. And that's just because it's a constant. Jai just does that for me. Crowd control ability idea. Momentary to get really fat as a bounce as a bounce enemy away ability, like as fat as half the diameter of the Frost Nova. Wow. That's a great idea. I thought you used metaprogramming to translate into shader to use GLSL. I remember I'll sneak compilers so I can share code and data structures between CPU and GPU. Wait, you made your own? Oh, for GLSL. It's for like a GLSL replacement. Someone does have that in Jai. There is a Jai GLSL compiler thing that converts it from Jai to GLSL. I'm just not using it. Like my shaders aren't that complicated, but yeah, I don't have that kind of thing set up. Well, thanks for the host though, man. That's huge raid. Mine requires to Spurvy. Oh, okay. How does that actually work with OpenGL? I've never used that. Thanks for the follow. So this looks really bad. Is Vulcan. Ah. You're crazy. I kind of want to use Vulcan, but I'm already making everything from scratch, and it's like, I don't know, at a certain point, there's like a threshold. So it looks really bad. I think what I need to do is make the particle, let's see. This looks better. I think it still looks fucking bad. Let me try getting rid of that derivative thing. Now that it's like a much smaller, whatever that's called, like cross-sectional radius or whatever, This derivative might not be necessary. Yeah, Vulcan's too complex. I know it now, but it's a ton of work. Yeah. There are a lot of things I wish I could have control over, though, that I don't. No, this doesn't look good either. It needs a derivative value, for sure. Okay, well, first, I think this is not a good mesh. It needs to be like that. It's probably still not going to look good. And then the other thing I need to do is this might make it look good. Okay, so first let me re-export this. It's just OBJ. Frost Nova shard, triangulate, normal, selected. I actually need a depth prepass for this because it's transparent ice, but I think that's part of what's making it look so bad. Well, it's not even connected. Like, if I screenshot this, this was yesterday's ability, which now looks like this. So, yeah, it's not even connected. I think I'm just gonna stretch the fuck out of it, maybe. I don't really want to double the particle count again. That looks so bad. That's okay. Let me grab this little edge and try, yeah, something like that maybe. It looks so fucking bad. Okay, apply the transformations. Let's export it. This might have to get scrapped in favor of actual like particle stuff. And the Frost Mages take me a long ass time. Frost Nova Shard. Let's try it again. Just doing plenary reflections for what? Just doing plenary reflections for ice right now? Are you asking me? What do you mean? Okay, I mean it looks more rolling and cartoony. Not good though. I think I'm gonna take this equation. I'm just gonna fuck with this. This thing and add some value. I don't know if it should be, let's just try this. I don't want it to end on a 0. I also don't want it to end on 1. Okay. This value is basically defining the density at a given progress. Because the radius is not linear. I can't tell anymore. It's okay, I think. Let's try that depth pre-pass before I give up on this. And I'm working my game and heard ice in your stream. Oh, I see, nice. How's it going for you? Now it looks contiguous. Yeah, it does, but I don't know. Something about it is just not right. Okay, before I do this, when I calculate the position using the radians, I'm going to do something with the circumference, which is just radius for all I care. Yeah. So I will do random get 0 to 1 open. I'm going to do, I have no idea, some extremely tiny value. Maybe that or something. It, like, conceptually, this would make sense to subtract half, but it actually doesn't matter at all. So I'm just trying to kind of wiggle each individual ice shard along its own ring. So I'm going to try this, get this working. I'm going to do depth pre-pass, and then when it inevitably still looks like shit. Yeah, I can't tell if that helped. Let me decrease the number down to 4, just see what happens. When it inevitably still looks like shit, I'm gonna delete it all and go with a shader like this one. It doesn't have to be ice. It looks a lot more random now. Screenshot. It still looks actually very uniform. Okay. Odd. I like it so far, pretty rough. Let me check it out. Oh. You have like a actual game graphics going on. Yeah, it looks pretty good. How are you doing that reflection on the thing on the ground? Let's try over 16 then. By the way, everyone that's watching, if you want to wishlist Fat Goblins on Steam, it helps a lot. Yes. Screenshot. This also looks... It is... No, that's pretty fucking uniform. Why is this so uniformly distributed? I'm actually just adding this random value to radians. Like it... Oh, well... I'm not... Okay, first, I want it to rotate, like shuffle around more the smaller the circumference. So I guess it would be divided by radius. Wait, but this is going to be like some infinity value, maybe even. It's fine. I could maybe do something like this. 5 times 2. Simple time reflection. What this is doing with a box filter when sampling? Wait, but reflection, what are you sampling from? This looks good. Looks very random. Okay, now I'm gonna depth pre-pass and see if that makes it look any better. I might remove some of the specular intensity. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, let's do a little depth pre-pass thing and see if that gets rid of some of what's feeling like noise. You know, this is kind of a problem because this inherently updates it. I guess this is a change in my particle system. So this is all the update stuff. This is potentially sorting it. Now render. System time, perspective matrix, okay. The scene is rendered with mirror camera to image, and that is used. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's actually rendering twice. Interesting. Yeah, I can't do that for my little game. It's supposed to run on the web. So this, all of this can get replaced. I think this is updating the data. And all of this is render. System time projection. Okay, so now I have my ice shader, which is what's being used. I guess I'll call it an... I don't know. I guess I'll call it an ice depth shader. I wish it was more generic than this, though. Because all it really is a depth shader with... How do you even do this? It's just a depth shader with particle model matrix and normal values, but I kind of don't need like anything. I think I don't even need a fragment pass at all. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to do this. If I'm not, I should be. Okay, I think I have to provide an empty string. Yep. Because in my, let me double check. In my shader code, when you're initializing it, it checks for the validity of the entirely resolved thing, doesn't it? Yes. This gives you back a string, probably. Gives you back... What is it taking in? It's this one. It gives you back a list of strings. So that can be not valid. Okay. So I guess that's what I need to do, right? Let me check also that shader parts. Yeah, it looks probably correct. You can't because speed or because of some limitations? It seems like it should be fine on WebGL2. Yeah, speed. My game runs really fast on my computer when I remove my debugging code. It's a perf tracker. Like I probably get like 500 FPS, although I am streaming. Uh-oh. I wasn't done. But on web, deferred rendering in general is just bad to do, especially because you need to support mobile, and mobile does not like drawing to every pixel on the screen. Mobile cache misses a lot more than desktop, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so this is my ice depth shader. I'm not done with this. What else do I have to do? This should be all I have to do. Now I have to initialize it though. So that's basically the reason. Really, if I was like a big company trying to optimize the fuck out of this, I would have a forward rendering pass without edge outline stuff, probably. Something like that. Because deferred rendering on mobile is just, I think, really not good. Now, when I render this, you say the Frost Nova shard system shader. I wonder if I'm allowed to do this. 1 second. I don't want to go back and think at any point that Frost Nova shards, that by changing this value I'm actually doing anything. So let me see if I'm allowed to not have a shader. I should be allowed to. Yes. all it does is set it. Okay, so no shader, and I do the shader stuff myself right here. And this one is just render. I think this is maybe okay to do. No, not okay yet. Clustered forward, what is that? I have not implemented these techniques, but they seem interesting. What is clustered forward? So let me check where this is happening. It's where the ice gets rendered, which is transparent depth. So the implication is this is writing into the depth buffer. Yes, it is. Okay. So now, this writes into the depth buffer. This is good. Set depth. Right? Am I allowed to do this? Yes, I think. Set depth right scope false. And then set depth function scope equal. Is that how it works? Equal. Okay, I guess that's probably technically a depth prepass. Undeclared O. That is a real issue. Okay. Current map not necessary. Really? Oh, for the depth prepass. Okay. So that's my shader dependency system telling me this ice depth shader does not need this value. Wow. Alright, it has a depth prepass. How's it look? Oh. Using ice depth shader with 0 output channels inside a render pass with 1 output channel. So the problem with this, like technically, this is also my shader dependency stuff. It's doing some reflection OpenGL things to be sure that my shader has the correct number of fragment outputs for whatever the current frame buffer pass is. But like you should be allowed, I don't know. When you actually have a fragment shader, I think it's reasonable to say you should have to write into everything that's expected. But if you don't have a fragment shader, I think this should not be enforced. And it's totally valid to not have a fragment shader. So how would you check this? Okay, this logic has to change a little bit. So there has to be, I guess it's like a scope file thing. Where even is scope file? It's way up here maybe, or nowhere? Yeah, this is not organized really at all. I'll say scope file. Oh, well, actually, I don't know. Whatever. Has vertex shader. I want to split this out because now I'm reusing this. Work. Hey, thanks for the follow. Check out Fat Goblins on Steam. Seems like a pretty good explanation. I'll check that out off stream. Cluster deferred and forward plus shading. What does this do? Interesting. I find it really hard to imagine how this could work, so clustering is the... Okay, interesting. They're actually using like data structures and things to optimize forward rendering. That might be pretty cool. I'll look at that. I'm not that I'm going to implement it because I'm very much committed to deferred rendering at this point, but... Okay. I have these two methods. I have to go replace these uses of them. Where are they? This has vertex shader. Resolves vertex parts. Uh-oh. What do I do about that? Hang on. It attaches it to the program, but I guess this should just be tracked as a variable, actually. Yeah. But then, yeah, I don't even care about this string. The string basically should actually go away in favor of vertex parts. So, has vertex shader. I think this is actually how it should work, because the data that's stuck around in the shader technically doesn't matter. It's kind of like trash. So it no longer needs to be its own function. So I can go back to this. These two are gone. Way back up here where I was. Shader has vertex shader is a true. Oh wait, not necessarily yet. Yeah, I guess it kind of is. Okay, I'll just say it's true. It's trying to be true. It should basically crash if this doesn't happen. Has vertex shader true? Has fragment shader true? So, also, you know, this should technically be has vertex defer if has fragment. All right, now where I was asserting 622. This. I only care to validate this if you have a fragment shader. And this is the same thing, isn't it? That's checking, this is checking the count of the channels, this is checking the components of the individual channels. We only validate information about fragment output channels if there is a fragment shader. Okay. Man, if streaming today doesn't get me a noticeable bump in wishlist, all hope is lost. Yeah, look, my FPS is around 500, 550. My GPU is kind of old too. Doesn't seem very good. Okay. So the depth repass, does it help? I guess. Like, it definitely looks different. Why is it so much darker? Interesting. But I don't actually know why it would be darker, though. I wonder if something about doing the depth pre-pass might have messed up the alpha blending. Like, I don't... Yeah, it did, actually. Fucking how? What? So this is like totally opaque ice. Also, I need to put the perf tracker back on because I can hear my CPU or my GPU or something is spinning out of control. So why does writing the depth in the depth prepass affect the color? I guess I could consult render doc. You know what I bet is happening? Yeah, what I bet is happening is because I'm in a frame buffer pass with some textures attached, I think it's expecting there to be output to those channels. And by nature of not doing the fragment pass, I think it might be writing basically black into those channels. And thanks for the follow. Let's check render doc. So Jai user found. Nice. You're in the secret beta. All right. There we go. Oh. All right. What's happening? Where the fuck is this happening? Yep. Look at that. It's black. Why? Actually drawing black into it. I could maybe... It might have to do with the blend mode. I guess I can check that here too. Rasterize frag. Where is it? Here it is. Blending is enabled. I think, man, it's just weird maybe to not have a fragment shader, but I probably could fix it with modifying the blend mode and blend functions, but I just don't know if I should. I think it might technically be undefined behavior right now. Undefined OpenGL behavior is very scary. Trying to think about what to do. So currently I'm under the huge pain because only C++ in the library that exists. My problem is huge and per most C++ ways for getting by. Yeah, that's true. That's kind of annoying. What is your problem you're dealing with? Set geo color mask to false. Oh, you're probably right. Actually, I'm pretty confident you're right. Good idea. I don't have a function for that currently. I do have some mask. I have a depth mask. Good idea. Does this just go here? Guess so. Color right. Let me check what this is. Turning step files into usable geometry for my Vulkan render. Step files. I don't know what step files are. Get color right mask. Wait. Setting the color mask, this is the... Am I doing the wrong thing? I get what you're saying in general. Oh, but GL color mask takes... Let me open all these. GL color mask takes actual color values. And I could forcibly set... And this is the kind of thing where if I set the GL color mask, then the blend function, when I use a constant, I'm pretty sure like falls back to this. But I would like to disable color writing, actually. Oh, it's CAD. Interesting. Use GL color mask with false for all channels. So that's actually just what you do. I didn't know that. Interesting. Oh, if red is GL false, for example, no changes made to the red component of any pixel. Ah. Did not know that. Well, I don't know how to actually get this value back then. It specifies whether red... Oh, it's a GeoBoolean. Okay, I just didn't read it properly. So for now, I'm only going to allow single values. Although in the future, I could allow RGBA values. So, boom, 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 boom. Get color right, get the Boolean of the, I guess, color right mask. Let me see. But isn't this going to return... I need to probably... this or something. I'm just guessing. And I just want to return 0. So... these ones, hold enabled. Now, this looks right. Not 100% sure about this. I guess I'll check it real quick as I go. Wait, wrong place. You go there. And I guess you go in your own scope now. Sure. Okay, so current color right. Get color right. Yep. After set color right, get color right. So let's see that. Oh, and then I want to check one more. After scope. Let's see what happens. Well, current is true, after set false, after scope true. So that's good. That seemingly works. It was kind of too fast. I wasn't really paying attention to see if it actually worked. Let's try one more time. This makes me wonder if this should be an automatic part of the shader system. I think that did work. Wait, I can't tell. Yes, it did. And I mean, it did visually clean it up a little. There's just a lot less like white. Huh. These ones over here ended up really gray. And this is fine. They ended up this gray because what's actually happening is this the ice has depth technically. And I might end up writing the alpha channel into the alpha channel of the diffuse texture and then copying it and using that to do like a semi-depth depth valid transparency pass, but so what's happening is when this actually renders, the behind the water is like brown. So it's getting that slight brown color. And then it renders the water, but the water is behind the ice, so that doesn't render. But it's fine. This is why I'm giving the ice depth. It's almost completely not noticeable. I still actually hate how this looks though. Like a lot. Oops. Like this one looks so good. Hmm. The fuck do I do? This is kind of like what I was imagining. The problem is just in reality, doesn't really look good. I'm gonna do this as the last part on stream, then I'm ending stream. What I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a mesh that I think will be reasonable as the visuals for the Frost Nova. It like kind of needs to be a decal is what's so weird about this. Okay, let me just start. I noticed before that shard direction is using radius and not radians. Is that intentional? Shard direction is using radius and not radians. I think if the code was actually wrong, it would be very obvious. Let's check though. You must be talking about inside here. This direction, shard direction. Yes, this is intentional. So is this what you're referring to? The reason it's offset plus radius is because so this offset is something in the X and Z direction, and the length of this offset is radius. So I'm just adding radius to the offset and normalizing it. So basically it's taking this directional vector that's completely like up facing away from my character and essentially moving it to face up 45 degrees. So that's why when you see the shards, the angle they're facing is like, yeah, it's like up. What makes them lean away? What makes them lean away is when you create them, I'm making this rotation quaternion from the shard direction. So I'm treating, oh wait. Well, yeah, this is what makes them lean away. What makes them lean away is the offset. So the offset is facing away, this is facing up, and so this offset is based on the radian, so like the angle in the circle you're currently at. And so when you normalize these together, you get something that's half facing away from you, half facing up. And this function is something I wrote with my super broken coordinate system of a game. Which just it just calculates the yaw of your velocity vector, it calculates the pitch of your velocity vector, and then it makes the final composited quaternion to reflect that. Yep. Okay, back to this. Let's make it slightly more detailed. I think I want minor segment details, yeah. That looks okay for what I'm doing. Maybe this is too many? Maybe it's fine.
Work.
Thanks for the follow. Check out Fat Goblins on Steam. So this doesn't matter how I do this. If I make it 1, yeah, that's not okay though. So my plan, if I UV edit this, how is this unwrapped, I wonder? Okay, I see. All the top stuff is on the top. And then, okay, this is pretty organized. So my plan is, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this, but I need something like a circle inside here. And I want to make it like blanketed, smoothly going. Yeah, this is going to be hard. I think I'm just going to totally give up on the idea of texture coordinates for this and calculate everything myself. Yeah. And so what that also implies here is that I don't think I would reasonably be able to calculate texture coordinates for anything that's like inside the face. So all of this stuff. Oh God, how am I going to do this? Can I select like a ring loop or something? I think I can. Okay, nice. This might work. Got all my edge loops. I now do not know how to alt click an edge. Oh, I didn't know that. I need to grab everything between these loops. So also this one. Shit, probably alt shift click, yeah. What did I just do? How can I do this now? What if I switch the faces? No. What if I just delete them? No. That kind of worked. Edge and faces? Okay, well, this... now what? There's probably some Blender way to grab everything else. Trying to grab everything inside of these rings I've just created. And I am no artist. I don't know how to use Blender. Shortest path? No, not really. Invert selection? No, I'm trying to then do this. But for every single thing. And it's gonna take me a long time. Not that long, but like, 5 minutes to do it by hand. I should probably just learn how to do it. Go in faces mode first. Yeah, but I did that. Maybe I can actually just select these. Is this what you mean? I can probably just do this, right? And then select loops. What? I thought that would work. Huh. So the vertex and back again. Vertex. Whoa, it worked. How'd you know that? Right click for sure as path selection. Now we'll never know if that works or not. You can use alt click in face mode too. Oh. Oh, how the fuck do you know this? I'm gonna keep this one. Wait, I should keep like all of these. Okay, okay, okay. I should keep, whoops, essentially these ones. There we go. Faces. Okay, now I'm learning so much about Blender today. Can't remember if it was alt click or control click in face mode. They might both work. I see. I'm gonna not manipulate these. Not scaling vertically. Whoa. Man, shit. Okay. This is close to what I want. I can actually merge these vertices at the center. And we take this little vertex. This will be like kind of the designated vertex of exactly where I want this to go, which is going to be something like that. Above the ground by a reasonable amount. Okay. Then something like that. Whoops. Whoops. Yeah, you can probably kind of get a vision of kind of what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to make something that has this ring outline, so it has like depth, kind of. And then it has like a blanketed center. And the shape is really not correct, but that's okay, because the shape gets manipulated based on where I know the vertices have to be in the vertex shader. And I wish it didn't look like this. So everything up till 1.0 away, which is this ring, is going to be manipulated. And then after 1.0 and further, which is all of this stuff on the right side, that will be kept as a circle. So that's kind of the plan. And I'm going to do something visually similar with this as I did with the Frostbind ability. Because I actually do not like how the Frost Nova has turned out today. At all. So time to waste more time perfecting it. How should this work? I want it to go down a bit. I might want to generate a function on a texture and align it again. Okay, this is kind of looking okay now. Now flatten out. All right. And lastly, this single vertex. Basically flat. All right, what the fuck is this? Uh-oh. Oh, that was the circle I made at the start. Okay. That's my little blankety circle thing, so... It'll probably be correct. The shape is so unintuitive right now in the same way that... Let me open up this other one. The Frostbind cone, this guy, how ugly this thing looks, it turned into this other ability. So the same kind of thing is hopefully gonna happen. I'm also, yeah, this is now this. So some math happened, you can see. This one is just a basic scale though. But I'm gonna delete the stupid ice shards that are gonna be impossible to make look good. And this is what I'm using. So, I think it's done. Yep. I'm gonna export this as an OBJ without UV coordinates. Let me think. Yeah, I can calculate the UV coordinates myself. So calculating the coordinates, it's going to be like a radial coordinate sample. Actually, the whole thing is just a radial coordinate sample, isn't it? Maybe I can just generate this. So this part I may do off stream. We'll see. Let's look at what's happening. Okay, so like this is not right. Although, yeah, it's not right. Okay, so what if what's the thing you just say? I just want to unwrap it. Maybe I'm in the wrong mode. I think just unwrapping it might just work since it's not actually an enclosed volume. Unwrap. It did. Okay, I can actually use these UV coordinates now. Saves me some math. Let's be sure they just continue going all the way out to the edge. Yep. Very nice. This is what I was going to do with my math. Alright. I think it's going to end up being too high up. I'll just try to fix that right now. Well, maybe not. The goblin's pretty tall. Let's stick a goblin in here and look at him. I'm also getting very hungry. And goblin, so it's going to be like... Yeah, it's okay. It's not going to be distorted like this, but... Alright, get out. So... This is my thing. Let's export this as OBJ. Selected only... Oh. I don't think it has a transform, but apply. Okay. Selected only normals UV coordinates triangulate. So this one is Frost Nova. I guess I'll call it Taurus. So this I'm not going to do off stream or on stream. I'm going to start this off stream because this is going to be a bunch of trial and error math, just like yesterday when I did that other ability. Let's push what I have. Get Frost Nova working. Gonna try. Ice shards look okay. Try getting a blanket wind style effect like the Frostbind. Yay! This I have to do off stream, and the other thing, let me make notes, is I have to generate the fuck. Where the fuck is it? I have to generate the chilly clothing, so when the goblin gets chilled and he's slowed, he's just gonna have some ice shards sticking out of his body. So essentially it's clothing. So I have to generate the ice shard clothing. Make decent looking and performant ice shard clothing. And then try to get the Frost Nova working with the blanket style wind ice effect of Frostbind. Okay, let me look at my to-do. Yeah, so otherwise good. Not bad day. Alright. Haven't had 32 viewers in a while. Let me find someone to host. Anyone have an opinion? Before I go, don't leave yet so I get a big host number. Anyone check out Fat Goblins on Steam and wishlist it. Woo! Hey, I posted this guy before. I remember him. He does some cool thing. Wait, this isn't what I remember though. He does some cool thing with some interesting retro FPS, but I thought you were like locked to accesses. I'll host him. This isn't, maybe he's on a new game. Alright. See ya. I will probably stream tomorrow, and I'm gonna have a better looking Frost Nova ability, and it's gonna get finished tomorrow. Bye bye.